Your immune system begins in a place most people overlook, the gut. And after 60, what happens in this area of the body often matters more than any supplement you could take. Many people think of immunity as something that lives in the blood or the lungs. But in reality, a large portion of your immune cells are located in and around the digestive tract. This is not by accident. The gut is where the body encounters the outside world most frequently through food, water, and microbes. As we age, this system doesn't disappear, but it becomes more sensitive. The gut lining thins slightly. Beneficial bacteria decline. Communication between gut cells and immune cells becomes less precise. When this happens, the immune system becomes more reactive and less efficient. This is why gut health plays such a powerful role in immunity after 60. When the gut environment is calm and balanced, immune cells learn tolerance. They respond accurately to real threats and ignore harmless signals. When the gut is irritated or imbalanced, immune cells stay on alert, increasing inflammation throughout the body. Supplements often aim to stimulate the immune system directly, but stimulation without regulation can backfire. After 60, the immune system benefits more from clarity than force. This clarity comes from the gut. Here's what really happens. The gut is lined with immune cells that constantly sample what passes through. They communicate with gut bacteria, intestinal cells, and the nervous system. Together, they decide how the immune system should behave. A simple daily gut habit can influence this entire network, not by killing bacteria or forcing change, but by supporting balance. When the gut environment improves, immune signaling improves automatically. You may notice this indirectly: fewer digestive issues, less bloating, more regular bowel movements, but the effects go far beyond digestion. Joint discomfort may ease, energy may feel steadier, recovery after stress or illness may improve. These changes reflect reduced immune overreaction. One of the most important roles of the gut is teaching the immune system what is safe. This process is called immune tolerance. With age, tolerance can weaken, causing immune cells to react to foods, microbes, or even the body's own tissues. Supporting the gut restores this tolerance. When beneficial bacteria thrive, they produce compounds that calm immune cells. These compounds tell the immune system that the environment is stable and safe. After 60, this calming signal becomes essential. Without it, immune cells may stay partially activated, driving low-grade inflammation that affects blood vessels, joints, and the brain. Another critical factor is the gut barrier. This barrier prevents unwanted particles from entering circulation. When it weakens, immune cells react aggressively. A healthy gut habit helps maintain this barrier, reducing unnecessary immune activation. The gut also communicates with the brain through nerves and chemical signals. Stress disrupts this communication, increasing gut inflammation and immune imbalance. Supporting gut health helps calm this gut-brain immune loop. You may notice improved mood or reduced anxiety when gut health improves. This is not coincidence. It reflects better regulation across systems. What makes this approach powerful is its simplicity. You don't need complex protocols or expensive products. You need consistency. The immune system responds to patterns, not one-time efforts. After 60, the body becomes less adaptable to extremes but more responsive to steady habits. A daily gut-supporting habit reinforces balance every time it's practiced. Doctors studying aging immunity increasingly focus on the gut because it's where immune behavior is shaped. Improving gut health doesn't override immunity, it teaches it. This is why gut habits often outperform supplements. Supplements act in isolation. Gut habits influence the entire immune network. As you continue watching, you'll learn exactly what this gut habit is, how it supports immune balance naturally, and how to include it safely and easily in daily life so your immune system stays responsive, calm, and resilient as you age. After 60, most immune activity is shaped in the gut, and this is why gut health becomes more influential than direct immune stimulation. The immune system is not a single organ or switch that can simply be turned up or down. It is a network, and a large portion of that network lives in and around the digestive tract. The gut is where the immune system meets the outside world most often. Every day, food particles, bacteria, and other substances pass through. Immune cells in the gut constantly evaluate these signals and decide how the body should respond. This ongoing evaluation trains immune behavior over time. In younger years, this training system is flexible and resilient. After 60, it becomes more sensitive. Small disruptions in the gut environment can lead to exaggerated immune responses. This is why gut health has such a strong influence on inflammation, recovery, and overall immune balance later in life. Many people focus on boosting immunity by stimulating immune cells directly. Supplements, powders, and aggressive interventions often aim to increase immune activity. But after 60, increased activity is not always beneficial. Overactive immune responses contribute to chronic inflammation, joint discomfort, vascular stress, and cognitive fatigue. The gut shapes immune behavior before immune cells ever reach the bloodstream. Immune cells in the gut decide what kind of immune system you have, calm and tolerant or reactive and inflamed. This decision happens continuously. You may notice signs of gut-influenced immune imbalance as frequent digestive discomfort, food sensitivities, or unpredictable energy levels. These are not just digestive issues. They reflect immune cells reacting to signals they don't fully understand. After 60, the gut lining becomes thinner and more vulnerable. Beneficial bacteria decline. This changes how immune cells interpret incoming signals. Without strong gut support, immune cells are more likely to stay on alert. When immune cells remain alert, inflammation increases even without infection. This low-grade inflammation places strain on joints, blood vessels, and the brain. Over time, it affects mobility, cardiovascular health, and cognitive clarity. Supporting the gut shifts immune behavior at its source. Instead of trying to calm inflammation downstream, you influence the decision-making process upstream. This is far more effective and gentle. The gut also communicates directly with the nervous system. Stress alters gut function, and gut imbalance increases stress responses. This loop becomes stronger after 60. A calm gut sends calming signals to immune cells and the brain. You may notice improved mood or reduced stress sensitivity when gut health improves. This reflects better coordination between systems, not a placebo effect. Another important role of the gut is immune tolerance. The immune system must learn what not to react to. After 60, this tolerance weakens. Immune cells may begin reacting to harmless foods or internal signals. The gut teaches immune tolerance daily. When the gut environment is balanced, immune cells learn restraint. When it's disrupted, immune cells lose this restraint. Doctors studying aging immunity emphasize that most immune dysfunction later in life is regulatory, not defensive. The immune system is often too active, not too weak. This is why gut-focused habits often outperform supplements. Supplements act on one pathway. Gut habits influence the entire immune network. Supporting gut health does not suppress immunity. It refines it. Immune cells become more selective, responding quickly to real threats and standing down afterward. After 60, immune health is less about fighting harder and more about responding smarter. The gut is where this intelligence is built. By focusing on gut health, you work with the body's natural immune training system. This approach reduces inflammation, conserves energy, and improves recovery. Understanding that most immune activity is shaped in the gut changes how we think about immunity. Instead of asking how to boost it, the better question becomes how to guide it. That guidance begins in the gut, where daily habits quietly shape immune behavior, supporting balance, resilience, and long-term health as the body continues to age. A balanced gut environment trains immune cells to respond with tolerance instead of constant inflammation. And after 60, this training becomes one of the most important protections for long-term health. Immune tolerance is the ability of the immune system to recognize what is safe and what is not. Without it, immune cells remain on high alert, reacting to harmless signals and creating unnecessary inflammation. Every day, immune cells in the gut are exposed to food particles, beneficial bacteria, and normal byproducts of digestion. These encounters are not threats, but they must be interpreted correctly. A healthy gut environment teaches immune cells that these signals are safe. This lesson is repeated daily, reinforcing calm and precise immune behavior. After 60, this learning process becomes less efficient. Changes in gut bacteria, slower digestion, and a more fragile gut lining all interfere with immune education. When immune cells stop receiving clear tolerance signals, they begin to assume danger where none exists. You may notice this as increased sensitivity to foods that never caused problems before, unpredictable digestive discomfort, or a general sense of inflammation that seems to come and go. These are not signs of a failing immune system. They are signs of an immune system that has lost clarity. A balanced gut environment restores that clarity. Beneficial bacteria help process food in a way that produces calming compounds. These compounds interact directly with immune cells, encouraging restraint rather than reaction. When immune cells receive these calming signals regularly, they learn to stand down when appropriate. This reduces background inflammation and preserves immune energy for genuine threats. After 60, inflammation becomes more damaging because recovery is slower. Persistent immune activation accelerates joint wear, stiffens blood vessels, and interferes with brain signaling. Teaching the immune system to remain calm becomes essential. The gut also influences how immune cells migrate through the body. When tolerance is strong, immune cells travel with purpose and return to rest once their job is done. When tolerance weakens, immune cells circulate longer, spreading inflammatory signals. You may notice that when gut health improves, aches and stiffness decrease even without changes in activity. This reflects reduced immune overreaction rather than reduced movement. Another important aspect of tolerance is preventing immune confusion. The immune system must distinguish between external threats and the body's own tissues. Poor tolerance increases the risk of immune cells attacking harmless structures, contributing to chronic discomfort. Supporting a balanced gut environment reinforces this distinction. Immune cells are reminded daily of what belongs and what does not. Stress plays a major role here. Stress disrupts gut balance, which weakens immune tolerance. After 60, stress recovery slows, making the gut-immune relationship even more sensitive. A balanced gut acts as a buffer against stress-induced immune activation. You may notice that emotional stress affects digestion more strongly with age. Improving gut balance often reduces this sensitivity, calming both digestion and immune response. Doctors studying immune aging emphasize that immune tolerance declines before immune strength. This means many age-related immune issues arise from miscommunication rather than deficiency. This is why forcing immune activity with supplements often fails. Stimulation without tolerance increases inflammation. Teaching immune cells restraint through gut balance is more effective. A balanced gut environment also supports regulatory immune cells. These cells exist specifically to calm immune responses. Their activity depends heavily on signals produced in the gut. When gut balance improves, these regulatory cells become more active. They help resolve inflammation and prevent immune responses from lingering too long. Consistency matters. Immune tolerance is reinforced through repeated exposure to calming signals. One healthy meal helps temporarily. A daily gut-supporting habit retrains immune behavior over time. After 60, the immune system becomes less forgiving of inconsistency. Regular support produces better results than occasional effort. You may notice improvements not just in digestion, but in overall comfort, energy, and mental clarity. These reflect a calmer immune baseline. Teaching immune cells tolerance does not weaken defense. It strengthens precision. When real threats appear, the immune system responds faster because it is not distracted by false alarms. By maintaining a balanced gut environment, you give immune cells clear instructions. This guidance reduces inflammation, conserves energy, and protects tissues throughout the body. After 60, immune health depends less on intensity and more on wisdom. That wisdom is taught daily in the gut, where balance creates tolerance and tolerance creates resilience. Beneficial gut bacteria produce calming signals that regulate immune responses and reduce immune overreaction. And after 60, these signals become essential for maintaining balance throughout the body. These bacteria are not passive residents in the gut. They actively communicate with immune cells every day, shaping how those cells behave. Inside the gut, beneficial bacteria break down fibers and other nutrients that the human body cannot digest on its own. In doing so, they produce substances that act as messengers. These messengers travel short distances to nearby immune cells and instruct them on how to respond. Many of these signals tell immune cells to remain calm. They indicate that the environment is stable, food is being processed safely, and no immediate threat is present. When immune cells receive these signals consistently, they learn to conserve energy and avoid unnecessary activation. After 60, the population of beneficial bacteria often declines, diversity decreases, and the remaining bacteria may not produce the same level of calming signals. As a result, immune cells receive less reassurance and may default to a defensive posture. You may notice this as increased inflammation without a clear cause. Joints feel achier. Energy dips more often. Recovery from stress or exertion takes longer. These experiences often reflect immune overreaction rather than true immune weakness. Beneficial bacteria also influence the production of regulatory immune cells. These cells are responsible for shutting down immune responses once a task is complete. Without strong bacterial signals, regulatory cells become less active, allowing inflammation to linger. This lingering inflammation places strain on tissues throughout the body. Blood vessels become less flexible, muscles recover more slowly, brain signaling becomes less efficient. Over time, this contributes to many of the discomforts associated with aging. The gut bacteria also help immune cells distinguish between real threats and harmless signals. When beneficial bacteria are present in sufficient numbers, they help filter incoming information. Immune cells learn which signals matter and which can be ignored. Without this guidance, immune cells may react to harmless food particles or normal bodily processes. This confusion increases inflammatory noise and reduces immune efficiency. After 60, immune systems benefit more from reduced noise than increased stimulation. Beneficial bacteria help quiet unnecessary signals so the immune system can focus on what truly matters. Another important role of these bacteria is supporting the gut barrier. They help maintain the integrity of the intestinal lining. A healthy barrier prevents unwanted particles from entering circulation and triggering immune responses. When beneficial bacteria decline, the barrier weakens. Immune cells are exposed to signals they were never meant to encounter. This exposure increases immune activation and inflammation. You may notice digestive discomfort when this happens, but the effects extend beyond digestion. Skin sensitivity, joint discomfort, and fatigue can all reflect immune activation originating in the gut. Beneficial bacteria also interact with the nervous system. They help regulate stress responses by influencing chemical messengers that travel between the gut and the brain. When these signals are balanced, stress has less impact on immune behavior. After 60, stress recovery slows and the immune system becomes more reactive to emotional strain. Supporting beneficial bacteria helps buffer this effect, calming immune responses during stress. Consistency is key. Beneficial bacteria respond to regular support. One healthy choice helps temporarily. Daily habits help rebuild signaling over time. As calming signals increase, immune cells become more selective. They respond strongly when needed, and disengage when the threat passes. This precision reduces chronic inflammation and conserves energy. Doctors studying immune aging increasingly focus on microbial signals rather than immune stimulants. They recognize that immune balance depends on the messages immune cells receive, not just their strength. Beneficial gut bacteria provide these messages naturally. They do not force immune responses, they guide them. After 60, this guidance becomes invaluable. The immune system no longer benefits from being constantly alert. It benefits from being calm, informed, and responsive. By supporting beneficial gut bacteria, you restore the immune system's ability to self-regulate. Inflammation decreases, resilience improves, and recovery becomes smoother. This process happens quietly, day by day, through the signals produced in the gut. These signals shape immune behavior long before symptoms appear, helping the body maintain balance and protection as it continues to age. A healthy gut barrier prevents unnecessary immune activation by keeping harmful particles out of circulation, and after 60, this barrier becomes one of the most important lines of immune defense. The gut barrier is not a solid wall. It is a living, selective filter designed to allow nutrients through while keeping unwanted substances contained. Every day, food is broken down into smaller components. Beneficial nutrients are absorbed, while waste and microbes remain inside the digestive tract. The gut barrier controls this process. When it is strong, immune cells are exposed only to information they are meant to process. After 60, this barrier can weaken. Age-related changes, stress, medications, and shifts in gut bacteria all affect its integrity. Tiny gaps may form between intestinal cells, allowing particles to pass through that normally would not. When these particles enter circulation, immune cells react. They interpret the presence of these substances as a threat, even if no infection is present. This reaction increases immune activation and inflammation throughout the body. You may notice this as unexplained inflammation, joint discomfort, skin sensitivity, or fatigue. These symptoms often originate from immune activation triggered in the gut, not from external illness. A healthy gut barrier prevents this chain reaction. It keeps immune cells from being exposed to unnecessary triggers. When immune cells are not constantly provoked, they conserve energy and respond more effectively when real threats arise. The gut barrier also protects blood vessels and organs. Inflammatory signals originating in the gut can travel widely, affecting the heart, brain, and joints. Strengthening the barrier reduces this inflammatory spillover. After 60, blood vessels become more sensitive to inflammation. Protecting the gut barrier indirectly supports cardiovascular health by reducing immune-driven vessel irritation. Another important role of the gut barrier is supporting immune tolerance. When harmless food particles remain inside the gut, immune cells learn that these substances are safe. When they leak into circulation, immune cells may misinterpret them as dangerous. This misinterpretation contributes to food sensitivities and immune confusion later in life. Supporting the barrier helps restore clear boundaries between what is inside the gut and what belongs in the bloodstream. Beneficial gut bacteria play a major role in maintaining this barrier. They produce substances that strengthen the connections between intestinal cells. When these bacteria decline, the barrier weakens. After 60, rebuilding bacterial support becomes essential for barrier health. This is one reason gut-focused habits outperform isolated supplements. Stress also affects the gut barrier. Stress hormones increase intestinal permeability, allowing more particles to cross. A weakened barrier amplifies the immune effects of stress. You may notice that stress affects digestion more strongly with age. Improving gut barrier health often reduces this sensitivity, calming both digestion and immune response. Sleep quality also influences the gut barrier. Poor sleep increases permeability and inflammation. Consistent sleep supports barrier repair overnight. This highlights how interconnected these systems are. Gut health, sleep, stress, and immunity work together rather than independently. A healthy gut barrier reduces the background noise immune cells must process. With fewer false alarms, immune cells remain focused and efficient. Doctors studying immune aging emphasize barrier integrity as a key predictor of inflammation levels later in life. Protecting this barrier reduces the need for immune suppression or stimulation. You may notice that when gut health improves, overall comfort improves. Less bloating, fewer aches, steadier energy. These changes reflect reduced immune activation at its source. Supporting the gut barrier does not require extreme measures. It responds best to gentle, consistent habits that reinforce balance rather than force change. After 60, immune protection becomes more about prevention than reaction. A strong gut barrier prevents unnecessary immune challenges before they begin. By maintaining this barrier, you reduce the burden placed on immune cells. They no longer need to respond to constant minor intrusions. Instead, they remain calm, ready, and responsive. This quiet protection supports long-term immune resilience, reduces inflammation, and helps preserve comfort and vitality as the body continues to age. Consistent daily gut supporting habits outperform supplements because they influence the entire immune network rather than isolated pathways. And after 60, this distinction becomes critically important. Supplements often target one specific mechanism, one nutrient, or one immune signal. The gut, on the other hand, shapes immune behavior at a systems level. The immune system does not operate in isolation. It responds to signals from the gut, the nervous system, hormones, and metabolism simultaneously. A supplement may temporarily affect one of these signals, but it cannot recreate the coordinated communication that a healthy gut environment provides every day. After 60, the immune system becomes less adaptable to sudden or intense interventions. It responds better to steady guidance than to bursts of stimulation. Daily gut supporting habits provide that guidance continuously, allowing immune cells to adjust gradually and sustainably. Supplements often work downstream. They attempt to correct outcomes such as inflammation or immune weakness after those issues have already developed. Gut habits work upstream. They influence how immune decisions are made before inflammation escalates. This upstream influence is what makes gut habits so powerful. When the gut environment is balanced, immune cells receive consistent signals telling them how active to be, when to stand down, and how to conserve energy. You may notice that when gut health improves, multiple symptoms improve at once. Digestion feels calmer, energy stabilizes, joint discomfort eases, mood improves. These broad effects reflect systemic immune regulation rather than a single targeted effect. Supplements rarely produce this wide-ranging impact because they do not address immune coordination. They may help temporarily, but often require continuous escalation or combination to maintain effects. Daily gut habits reinforce immune balance through repetition. Each day, immune cells are exposed to the same calming signals, strengthening regulatory pathways over time. This repetition retrains immune behavior. After 60, immune cells rely more on habit than novelty. The immune system becomes more responsive to consistent patterns than to new interventions. Another advantage of gut supporting habits is adaptability. The gut ecosystem adjusts naturally to daily input. Beneficial bacteria respond, expand, and produce appropriate signals based on ongoing conditions. Supplements cannot adapt in this way. Gut habits also integrate with other health systems. They support sleep quality, stress resilience, metabolic stability, and nervous system balance. Each of these systems feeds back into immune regulation. You may notice that when gut health improves, sleep becomes deeper, and stress feels more manageable. These changes further enhance immune balance, creating a reinforcing cycle. Supplements do not create these cycles. They act independently and often require precise timing or dosing to avoid imbalance. Doctors studying longevity emphasize lifestyle signals over isolated nutrients because the body evolved to respond to patterns. The immune system expects regular environmental cues, not intermittent chemical inputs. After 60, the immune system becomes more sensitive to disruption, overstimulation increases inflammation, understimulation reduces responsiveness. Gut habits provide a middle ground that guides immune behavior gently. Consistency also reduces reliance on guesswork. Instead of wondering which supplement to take or when to change doses, daily gut habits provide a stable foundation that immune cells recognize. You may find that once gut habits are established, the need for supplements decreases. This does not mean supplements have no place. It means they work best as support, not as the foundation. Gut habits also respect the body's timing. Immune regulation unfolds over days and weeks, not hours. Daily habits align with this natural pace. After 60, forcing rapid change often leads to setbacks. Supporting gradual adaptation leads to lasting improvement. By influencing the entire immune network, gut supporting habits improve resilience rather than creating dependency. Immune cells learn to regulate themselves instead of relying on external prompts. This approach also reduces side effects. Supplements can sometimes overstimulate or interact unpredictably. Gut habits work through natural biological pathways the body already understands. Over time, this steady guidance reduces baseline inflammation, improves immune precision, and conserves energy. After 60, immune health becomes less about adding more and more interventions and more about removing confusion from the system. Consistent daily gut habits provide clarity. They align immune signals, reinforce tolerance, protect barriers, and calm unnecessary activation. This quiet, steady influence is why gut habits outperform supplements. They don't fight the immune system. They teach it, supporting balance, resilience, and long-term health as the body continues to age.